How's it going, people? Welcome back to my channel. First and foremost, as always, I want to say thank you and love to everyone that's been subscribing, everyone that's been giving me feedback and leaving comments, likes, dislikes, whatever. I love the love, I love the hate. Keep it coming, because this is why I do it. Obviously, my opinion is of interest to quite a lot of people now, so I'll continue giving it. It tends to be a real perspective of things. I'm going to stop saying negative, because I agree with a lot of the people in my comments. I'm not negative, I'm just real. And a lot of the time now, when you're real about Arsenal, it comes across negative, because the reality at Arsenal is negative. 2 + 2 = 4. But hey ho, people won't understand that. Also, big up everyone that's following the Instagram Turkish LDN, everyone that's following the Twitter Turkish LDN. Keep on following. That's the main channels that I'm going to use to promote and seek ideas for new content for this YouTube channel. Do you know what I mean? I know I've got to use the YouTube community a bit more, do a bit more posts like that, but my Instagram and my Twitter, they're slowly building too. So yeah, make sure you continue going out there and making sure you follow me on all platforms, all major social media platforms, because I am there, and they are very active at the moment, considering the state Arsenal Football Club are in. It's not a new state, it's a state that I've become familiar with over the last decade, but it is the reality. Do you know what I mean? And obviously I've got a lot of people that want to hear my opinion nowadays. A lot of people will call it negative, but I'm going to completely come off that now, because a lot of the comments tell me it's not negative, it's real, and that's what it is. Yeah, the reality at Arsenal is negative, so I'm going to be real about it. If the reality is positive, then I'm happy. So be it. I can't wait for that day. I can't wait for the turn of the tide, and really, when Arsenal come back, you lot can see a different side of me. But until then, I'm going to carry on spitting facts. I'm going to carry on telling you like how it is, how I see it. And fuck everyone who doesn't agree at the end of the day. And by agree, I don't mean agree with my points. I mean agree with the reality of the situation, because it's a mess. It's a mess. And what a difference 4 weeks makes, right? Wrong. 4 weeks ago, AFCON was on. Copa America's on. Under-21 Championships is on. Oh, our kit launch hasn't come yet. Wait, don't get angry yet. Wait, give them a chance. How many weeks do we need to wait? Are you excited yet? It's been, what, 8 days since the Be Excited Josh Kroenke interview. Is anyone excited yet? Any new names popped up that's exciting you? Yes, it looks like Ceballos is coming from Real on loan, which I'll get into in a little bit. But something that's kind of, I'm not sure, there's 2 ways I've been looking at it, but something that I want to talk about today is Unai Emery and a couple of interviews, post-match interviews he's done in the past week or 9 days or so. It's a cause for concern if you look at it one way, but it could also be applying pressure on the people above him if you look at it in another way. So let's delve into what he actually said, and I'll give my unbiased opinion on it after. So this is last week after the Bayern Munich game, if I'm not mistaken. Emery said, I started playing it. Emery said, our target is to achieve 3-4 players to really improve our team and squad now. We are being very demanding, and we also first speaking about the possibility to sign very big players, very expensive. Remember those words, very big, very expensive. The first player on our list is the first transfer target. And after, if we cannot have that, then we try the second. But thinking every time that they are going to improve our team. So yeah, that's what he pretty much said. So let me just reiterate that. Very big, very expensive signings, 3 or 4 players, and improve our squad now. Now, I could really break that interview down, but actually I will. I'll start by doing this one. Look, very big, very expensive. That's not happening. Arsenal are not signing very big, four very big, very expensive players this summer. We're not doing it. Trust me on that. Maybe we'll get 1 big player in. It won't be very big. And what it will come down to at the end of the day is everyone's interpretation of very big and very expensive. 25 million to me individually, yes, to me 25 million is hella expensive. But we're talking from Arsenal Football Club standpoint. 25 million to them is not very expensive. So when they say very big, very expensive, I'm looking around the world and I'm seeing very big players, well, very big young players, let's say like Nicolas Pepe, like Cengiz Ünder, like Lozano, like David Neres, very big young players, but we haven't even tried. You know what I mean? And then you got the very expensive side of the quote. And in my opinion, in this day and age, from Arsenal's standpoint, very expensive is above 50 million. Now, the way Emery's said it, obviously his English is not the best, but for very big, very expensive, it's not happening. Yeah, we're not spending 50 mil plus on 4 players. It's just not happening. And the reason I say that 25 million is not expensive is because Tierney, which is so up and down right now, I was confident it was going to happen. Now I don't even know. But if it was to happen, I wouldn't put him under the bracket of very big or very expensive. So again, it goes down to the interpretation of his words. But we've all got to look at it from Arsenal's standpoint, not your own. So before people jump down my neck about 25 million, will you ever make that in a lifetime and this and that bullshit? Listen, to all of us individually as viewers, me, anyone else, 25 million is a hell of a lot of money that we probably won't see in our lifetime. But to Arsenal Football Club, it's nothing. It's a drop in the ocean. So we have to talk from their standpoint. And in my opinion, we haven't gone for any very big players this summer. Any very big players. Like Zaha is not a very big player. Do you know what I mean? He's a big player, but he's not a very big player. And the very expensive part, I don't know where that's come from. Because we're struggling to tie up the deals we have been talking about for weeks. So God knows where he got that from. But like I said earlier, it could be a case of he's putting pressure on Kroenke a day or two after Josh said be excited, after Josh said there will be moves coming in. Or it could just be like he's been forced to say it. Very, very reminiscent of Wenger interviews in the past. Very. And when I go into the next one a couple of days ago, you'll see what I mean. So I might as well just go straight into the one a couple of days ago. Well, talking about transfers again, really, I am with patience because we want to choose the best solution. Now, Emery, this is where you're shooting yourself in the foot, mate. This is where the attention gets diverted to you. This is where all them people that's telling us Kroenke is not the problem will start ambushing you and turning it about you because you're making yourself a target. A couple of days after Josh made himself the target, made the Kroenkes the target, you can't be taking it off them. But I just feel like it's a bit of damage limitations from the Kroenkes. I believe they've told Emery what to say, or Raul and Vinay's told Emery what to say. It just doesn't sound right to me. Like patience because we want the best solution. If over patience leads to other teams coming to nab your players, it's happened to us many times in the past. You continue being patient about these players that you apparently want so much. Other teams will come and nick them, and then we are fucked as usual. But hey, it's good. It sounds good. Patience to find the best solution. Yeah. Some players are very expensive, and we are waiting for this possibility. If they're very expensive, what possibility are you waiting for? The club to lower the demands. When does that ever happen? They might lower a bit, but we've bid half of Zaha's value. So we're far off even in between that, which is 60 mil. So I'm not sure what he means there about waiting for this possibility. Are we going to get an influx of cash? If we are, why hasn't it happened? It's all smokescreen and bullshit to me right now. We don't want now to go into the second line of players. We are waiting. We have very good players. We have very good young players. We are aware also that we need to improve some players in this squad. So in that interview you done last week, Emery, you said, if we don't get the first targets, then we've got plan B, essentially. Now, in this interview, you're saying we don't want a plan B. So which one is it? You have to have a plan B. And you have to be open to it. At Arsenal Football Club, you're telling me you're not open to a plan B when we can't even get plan A off the ground, let alone finalised. So seriously, stop feeding me this bullshit, or feeding us this bullshit, because the fans are beginning to open their eyes to all of this. These words and these statements and these interviews worked wonders for Wenger post-Highbury. Worked wonders. He got away with murder through all these types of words and general bullshit to the fans. So I've had enough of it, especially coming from a man that's really done nothing for Arsenal Football Club. He needs to be careful because the attention can quickly divert to him. I'm showing you, this fan base isn't united about Kroenke yet. They're looking for a reason to turn to us, people banging on about Kroenke and saying, see, it wasn't all him. It's all him. It's all him. carrying on. I want to sign 1, 2, 3 or 4 players, only if we can be sure they are coming to improve our team. Where it went from signing 3 or 4 very big, very expensive players to I want to sign 1, 2, 3 or 4 players if we can be sure they're going to improve. If they're very big and very expensive, they're going to improve our team. The only position we have that very big and very expensive won't improve us is probably up front, because we've got Laka and Oba. In terms of every other position on that pitch, if you buy very big and you buy very expensive, then you're improving Arsenal Football Club. So again, them words are just them words. It's like, but I could have nightmares about these sort of interviews that Wenger used to do, and Emery just sounded a lot like Wenger in the past week, which is weird to me. Since he's met up with Kroenke, he's all coming across like a puppet now. Before he'd stay quiet, which is, look, you're not going to come out and disregard your boss and talk down about him and expose him fully, but staying silent was doing the job, in my opinion. Obviously, he's working with his hands tied behind his back. You can see that now. So his silence really spoke volumes. And now he's coming out to kind of be one of the Kroenke puppets. It's worrying. It is worrying, because he's the one that's going to be left in the deep end come the start of the season if we haven't adequately improved the squad. I'm telling you, the match-going fans and the fans in general will really start getting down his neck, because during the season it's all up to him. Kroenke can't invest, even if he wanted to, which he doesn't want to, but even if he wanted to, there's nothing he can do at that time. So now really was the time and is the time to put the pressure on them. And when I mean put the pressure on them, it sounds like I mean to make change, and that's what it's going to have to be essentially and initially. But I want them out, man. They're no good. They're not about football, so I just want them out. There are a lot of names. The club is working. Edu, the technical director, is very close to me and Raul. We speak every day. That's filled me with fucking confidence. If you speak every day, what have you been speaking about for the last 7-8 weeks? Yeah, I know Edu has just recently come, but the Edu deal was more or less done before Copa America. So I'm sure you two have been communicating, or all 3 of you, all 4 of you, whoever it is has been communicating for a lot longer than the past week. So telling us you've been talking to Edu and Raul, I should fucking hope you've been talking to Edu and Raul. They're colleagues. They're the people that's going to help improve the club. If you haven't been talking to them, then that's something you tell us. But telling us you're talking to them, listen, are we mugs? It's your job to talk to them. Yeah? So please, Emery, do not start this, man. Do not start this. Before I go into Ceballos and talk about him, I'm not impressed with Emery's interviews in the past week. I can't lie to you. I'm going to put it down to pressure, not pressure, but I'm going to put it down to Kroenke having a word and Vinay and Raul and them saying it's for the best to come out with statements like this, because it's against what he's said and done in the past year. He's either stayed silent about things or come out and said we have no money, which in January he did. So for him to come out now and 1 week say very big, very expensive signings, the next week and say we've got plan B, to the next week say we're looking at 1, 2, 3 or 4 players to improve our squad, it's contrasting in my opinion. Yeah, it sounds pretty much along the same lines, but it hasn't got the heart that he had in his statement last week. Very big, very expensive. That's a tagline. That's something we're going to hold against you now, Emery, come the start of the season. And now we can move on to the deals apparently closed, because it falls hand in hand. You're telling me very big, very expensive signings. Do you know that if we sign Tierney, if we sign Saliba, and then obviously we got Martinelli and Ceballos, if we sign them 4 players, none are very big or very expensive. None. Ceballos is a loan, so I wouldn't even count him in the 3 or 4 players coming in. Do you know what I mean? I know Arsenal or whoever it is will twist like a Kieran Tierney signing to say it's very expensive, it's 25 million. But in the big scheme of things, it's not. Yeah? It's not, and he's not very big. Trust me, I'm happy with Tierney. I actually want us to fucking sort it out. Like we're oohing and ahhing about Zaha bids and this and that when our defence is still doomed and we don't want to pay the extra 2 mil or whatever it is for Tierney. Just sort that out. The defence needs to be sorted out ASAP. I'd much rather sort the defence out right now than be dilly-dallying over Everton and Zaha and whoever else. Like, I'm tired of it. How haven't we sorted out the defence? So yeah, Saliba's another one. Like, if we get all these names, they're not very big or very expensive, and they're not going to improve the team greatly this coming year. Zaha coming in, okay, big. He's a big player, and he would be expensive because it looks like it'd be over the 50 mil mark. So that would be in line with what they're telling us. But when you're telling fans 3 or 4 very big, very expensive signings, if Man City said that, you know they mean that. If Man United said that, you know they mean that. Chelsea, you know they mean that. But when it comes to Arsenal, you're taking the piss. Like, how many very big, very expensive signings have we made in the last 20 years? 3 or 4. So you think we're going to do the same in the last week and a half of the transfer window? Come on, man. Stop mugging the fans, because that's what it is essentially. Essentially mugging the fans, a slap in the face, act like we don't know what's really going on. Man knows. You know, a lot of people don't know, but man knows what's going on. You're taking the piss. You're trying it again. And there's nothing to hide behind that. There's no kit launch to hide behind. There's no international competitions to hide behind. There's nothing to hide behind right now. The last 2 weeks, disgraceful. And the next 2 weeks will be panic and disgrace. Even more so. Even more so. Let's get back to Dani Ceballos anyway, because he had some words to say about him, Emery. When I have the player here, for me, it's the same. Every player, they are the same. Some players with contracts and some players who can't come here for long. Obviously, been asked about him being alone. Will he play a key part in the team? Obviously, he seems like he's got more potential and is better than a lot of our attacking midfielders now. So, of course, he should get game time. I don't care if he's going back at the end of the season. Whatever improves us right now, whatever gets us to the next stage or the goal of making Champions League again to further improve upon, so be it. Year or not, 6 months, I don't care. For me, it is to improve our team, and we are speaking about this, to sign players only if we are convinced they are going to improve our squad. Stop saying the Wenger shit again, Emery, bro. And be able to help us with different qualities, with different conditions. He said similar with Suarez about this qualities and conditions stuff. Like, Emery, just please don't start talking shit. Please. Silence is the best from you, because we can't get the attention diverted away from Kroenke. We can't. We cannot do it. You've got a year left, Emery. I know a lot of people are saying he should walk. I don't think that's viable. You don't walk if you're not happy with it. Why would he walk? How does that help us fans if he walks before Newcastle? It doesn't really. He walks and then it's just more open that Kroenke is the issue. We should all know Kroenke is the issue right now. We shouldn't need our manager to walk before knowing what the last issue remaining is at the club, and that's the owner. Yeah, before we had other tangibles in Arsene Wenger and Ivan Gazidis, but now it's Stan, Josh, KSC, his wife, their kid, whoever else, man, grandkids, blame all of them, man. I don't want the Kroenke name associated to this club anymore. I know him from Betis at the beginning and also Madrid. He played very well with the under-21s and won the national competition. So it's just, he said the generic stuff, really. I'm happy to see he will be used if he does come in. It does look likely that it's happening. But it's neither very big nor very expensive. So I wonder where that quote came from. I really do. Saliba's another one that looks done. But again, well, what's going on, bro? We need the defence sorted now. And instead we're trying to sign Tierney, who, yes, I like him. He's injured, but I like him. I want him. And Saliba, an 18-year-old, loaning him back for a year and expecting a 19-year-old who's been playing in League One for a season and a half to come into a Premier League team and excel. He could be done in the first 10 games. Depending on how them 10 games go, depending on what teams we play, depending on the strikers we play against, depending on the improvements we make in January and summer next year. If they're not adequate and more similar level to the team we have now, then Saliba ain't going to come in and change anything at this team. He's going to come in and be exactly the same part of the problem, because he's young. He can be moulded into something special, but he can also be moulded into a piece of shit like a lot of our players. You're going to bring Saliba in and put him next to Mustafi and that. Come on, man. Let's be serious, bro. Like, and this goes back to the proactiveness again. Why haven't we released players? Why are we bidding 25 mil, yeah, or 15 mil, 80 mil with add-ons for Tierney when they want it straight? And at the same time bidding 40, 50 mil for Zaha or 25, 30 for Everton, which I don't believe. All these bids, look, like, we're not doing all that. Why don't we just get one done? Get Tierney done. Yeah, get Tierney done. Analyze the left back situation. Bring Tierney and say to us, we've got Tierney, we've got Kolasinac, we've got Monreal. Determine who you could let go to free up some funds, add it on top of the remaining funds, and then you move on to the next target. Why are we trying to juggle all these targets and fit them into one budget? Yeah, is beyond me, because that's how you're left with this situation now where we are fucked again. And it's going to be panic in the last couple of weeks, and it's going to be buyers that really we might look back on and say, why the fuck did we do that? Because of how we leave ourselves, how the business side of things is not run correctly at Arsenal Football Club. I've mentioned in another video, nothing is right at the club. Nothing. And that goes to everyone. That goes to the fucking people making the burgers and chips, because they are dead in that stadium. Dead food in that stadium. So, Arsenal fans, 15 days to go. Boy, I don't even know what to say. I just say, you know what? Just wait for the season to start and let's fucking see, because we're just going to stress ourselves out, pull our hair out over people that don't really give a shit about us. And that's the reality of it. Right now, the owners of Arsenal Football Club, the staff at Arsenal Football Club, and a lot of the players at Arsenal Football Club don't actually give a shit about the people who made them, which is us fans. We made Arsenal Football Club what they are. Yeah, the history speaks for itself, but the history comes with the support. The support for Arsenal Football Club, not only in England but across the world. We deserve a lot better than we've got in the past 10 years. A lot of people like to come to me and say, oh, but try being a Newcastle fan, try being this fan. I understand other teams got issues. And I'm not saying we have a divine right to win anything. I keep on mentioning this. But we pay the highest ticket prices in Europe. We will move from Highbury to Emirates to challenge the biggest teams. 12 years later, we are worse, far worse than we was at Highbury. Less money, it seems, in a time when, how can you have less money? Surely our transfer budget around leaving Highbury and the first year Emirates must have been 30 to 40 mil. Fast forward 12 years, it's, well, I know it's more than 40 mil, but it's being reported as the same. We're moving like it's the same. No authority, no leadership. And I just don't mean the squad there, I mean everywhere. The back room, like, I hope Edu comes in and takes the lead, because Vinay and Raul haven't. I'll be honest, they've been here, 6 to 8 months. They haven't taken the lead. Like I said about Vinay, forget that guy. He is a con man. The guy just, he's out there for himself. Raul, I've got some faith in him. Some faith. I'm hoping him and Edu pull things out of the bag moving forward. And they're people that I wouldn't mind seeing post-Kroenke. But it all depends on how we react and how we move forward. Now, are they going to become part of the furniture? Are they going to become part of the problem, like Wenger and Gazidis did over time? Or are they going to stand up and fight for what we love? Let's hope Edu still love the club. Like, I know I do. I know we still love the club. All the people viewing this still love the club. We just need to see if Edu will fall in line with Kroenke, or will he stand up for us fans, because Arsene Wenger well and truly fell in line with Kroenke, the devil, and completely ignored the anguish and the resent the fans built up over time, epitomised by not coming out to do his lap of honour at the last home game of the season prior to when he was let go. Do you know what I mean? How many people supported him? How many people backed him blindly for so many years, only for him to not come out, take a seat in the back, and just essentially he made it about himself again because he didn't come out. But let me not talk about that period, man. It's just not much has changed. Not much has changed. But let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about Emery's comments, post-match comments after Bayern, after Fiorentina? Are you excited? And yeah, any more content you lot want to see from me, man, I'll keep it coming. Obviously, throughout the summer, I've just been doing updates and my opinions and my thoughts on matters. Just let me know what you want to see come this season. I've got a few ideas in mind, but I really want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you lot want to see. And before I go, make sure you go check out Becoming a Manager Season 1, Episode 2. I brought it out last week. Let me know what you think about that and ways I could improve, and yeah, general feedback. But love for everything, people. Love.